Okay, so welcome everybody. Greetings to the November 2024, our first roundtable of the year. I will be your MC tonight. My name is Chris Gent. I am the, I guess council commissioner for Tuscarora councils, and we've got a lot of folks out burning stuff down and doing some other business stuff who would normally run this stuff. So I volunteered to step in and to help out, and so I'm going to be your MC. And it means I'm in charge and in control, and you have to do what I say. If everyone's all right with that, I'll go ahead and get started and get going. So first, let's just cover some meeting etiquette for tonight. Please take, use the chat to pose any questions or share information, but I think we're a small enough crowd. If you just want to interrupt, feel free. I think we can do that. But I will ask though, if you don't mind, if you're not put your name, unit, and district in the chat, please go ahead and do so we can get your attendance recorded. And just that we know, excuse me, know that you're here. Please mute yourself unless you are presenting or speaking. Don't be making lunch orders in the background or anything like that. If you do, we will mock you and make fun of you in a Scott way, of course. So and please be aware of your surroundings. If you have if you have your camera on, of course, camera is always good. We get to see your pretty face. But just if you do, just make sure there's nothing offensive or anything in the background. And that you're fully clothed. So if everyone take a moment and please say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. So I am in civilian attire tonight. My apologies for that. I'm traveling at the moment. I was not able to get my uniform, but please, if you'll do the Scout salute or cover your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready? 2. Thank you very much. All right, let's carry on here. So, and if you could also, sorry, Pack 124, I know you guys just sat down, but if you don't mind standing again, you can join me in the Scout Oath and Scout Wall. So, on my honor, I will do my best to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Thank you. All right, now that we got the formalities out of the way, so we'll start with the both district announcements and council announcements. So we have a bunch of events coming up. So if you're not getting the Tuscarora Times, I suggest you reach out to Ms. Connie and get yourself on the list. It's some great information coming out about the various events coming up and other information that you and your unit can use. But in January 26th, 28th, so here in a couple weeks, the OA Winter Fellowship will happen. For those who have newly minted Eagle Scouts, please let them know the deadline for the NISA scholarships, couple $100 for college, is due January 31st. Every little bit counts when you're trying to pay your way through school. So please do encourage your new Eagle Scouts to make sure that they are trying to help themselves out by getting that scholarship. Council banquet. So with the silver beaver awards and etc. will be given out at the council level. So all your council level awards will be given out on February 3rd. And Chuck, that's at the First Presbyterian Church in
Goldsboro.
Not Oakland, but Goldsboro.
No, not Oakland.
Yeah, the other First Presbyterian. So Scout Sunday, please remember that's February 11th. I know there's some mixed dates out there, but according to the BSA website, it is officially February 11th. But we tend to do it sometime in February, but it's always nice to kind of do it together. So just remember, February 11th-ish is the date for Scout Sunday. Both freezeries for both districts fall on the same night. So we have the Torahunta, February 23rd through 25th, and the Nusiak freezery, February 23rd through 25th. Mr. Lanning, sir, if I could ask, do you know where the locations for these are at, the freezeries?
So, per usual, New Seox is at Camp Tuscarora.
Yep.
I do not happen to know off the top of my head where Torhunas is, but you give me 30 seconds, I'll go find out.
I
Okay.
can tell you it is at Terra Creek Farm in Faison. No idea where that is, but that's the location.
All right. And the leader guides for these great events, are those on the website, Mr. Lanning?
I know New Seox is, I believe Torhunas is as well.
Okay. Yeah, so again, if you and your unit are interested, highly recommend you go to these. They're always fun. I love going to them with my boys when they were in. And the leader guides will help you have a fun and successful adventure there at either location for the freezer race. So also new adult applications that require criminal background checks and will be considered pending until cleared. More information will come out the next Tuscarora time, so we'll be on the lookout from Miss Connie, who will give us the lowdown by March 1st on what that is all about. And of course, with any of this information to register, please visit the council website where you can go to the Tintaroo part and register for any of these events. So those are the events coming in the next couple months, and hope to see you all there. So. All right. At this moment, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Chuck Robeson, who is District Commissioner for Nusiak, and I will let him talk about our safety moment for the month.
Okay, we're going to talk about digital safety and online scouting activities. And, yes, during COVID, it seemed like everything was online. And we haven't come completely back from, hey, look, this activity is online. So we're still doing a lot of online activities. And so we wanted to take this time to give you the following reminders to keep our youth safe. These guidelines apply to all online scouting activities and meetings. And some states may have legal requirements that are stricter than what we're talking about here. Ours does not at this time. And so let's start. Yes, we'll start with follow all youth protection policies. All youth protection policies still apply in an online environment. Make sure you always have 2-deep leadership for online activities and meetings. Our ban on one-on-one contact between an adult and youth applies to all interactions, whether in person, online, through a web conference, over the phone, via text, or any other form of communication. Keep that in mind. You can't just pick up your phone and call one of the youth. I would advise that if you have to call them, that they put their phone on speaker and have a parent or guardian there in the room with them so they can hear both sides of the conversation, just so there's no just so that it's proven that nothing went wrong. All aspects of the scouting program are open to observation by parents, and the BSA suggests parents take part in online activities and meetings. And this is not, okay, this is for the youth's protection. It's also for our protection and for the protection of the Boy Scouts of America. The next point. Use business-oriented conference platforms that include good safety and privacy features instead of platforms with other primary purposes, like, don't use your gaming to have a group meeting. Review the terms of service, safety, and privacy features, and the data collection policies of any platform you use. Review the BSA digital privacy and social media guidelines. And I will put that link in the chat now. Okay, next point. Regularly review and implement the latest security features of your chosen platform to avoid unauthorized visitors or other security issues in your meetings. Just as you put in place plans for the physical security of your meeting place, here are some of the tips to consider as you get started developing your own strategy to manage online security. Use unique meeting identification numbers for each session. Utilize password features for all meetings. Do not publish meeting invitations via public forums, and remind attendees not to pass along invitations. Use waiting room features to manage letting individuals into your meetings. Disable features that you will not need, such as screen sharing by non-hosts, private chats, and whiteboards. The next point is do not record online activities or meetings that include youth participants. So we're expecting there aren't going to be youth participants in this meeting, which is why it's being recorded. But if there are youth participants, do not record it. Next point. Recording of online activities that only involve adults is subject to local council, legal review, and approval. Check with your local council for guidance, and our local council said that we can record this roundtable. Call recording is subject to various legal requirements under U.S. law and the laws of individual states, some of which require all parties to a call to consent to the recording. And this meeting is being recorded, and if you do not want to be a part of a recorded call, you can leave. Okay. Next point. Safeguard personal information. If you collect a person's personal information online, for example, through web forums used to register people for online meetings, then you should post a notice or disclosure at the point of collection describing how you will use the information. The notice should be conspicuous and written in plain English. Meeting organizers must keep such information private and not share a youth's personal information with anyone except the youth's parents or guardian, or the unit leader responsible for tracking advancements. For example, a merit badge counselor should not publicly post or otherwise show a roster with personal information of scouts the counselor has worked with. And the final point, collecting personal information from youth under 13 is not recommended. Don't collect personal information directly from youth under 13 years of age due to the parental notice and consent requirements under the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. You should collect any data like that needed from the parent or the legal guardian only. Does anyone have any questions on this? And again, I want to stress, this is for the youth's protection. This is for our protection and for the protection of the Boy Scouts of America. All right, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Chuck. So as part of our mini training for the month. I'm going to show you all a video. I cheated. I didn't put slides together. I just grabbed the video and made it easy on myself. So, but this month's training is going to be on Scout Book. Found a video for leaders fast training in, kind of being that time of year where we're getting back in the swing of things, for recharting or whatever, make sure our roster's up to date. I thought maybe this might be a good time to share this information. So if you do not hear the sound, please raise your hand and I will try to fix it. But let me see if I can get this to work in the meantime.
Scoutbook is meant to be a new concept in scout tracking for the BSA. The purpose here is from any platform you have, a phone or a tablet that can get to the internet, you can view and work on Scout advancement. People who have the authority can sign off on requirements, and scouts and parents can notify their leaders that they have completed a requirement and they're ready to be tested. This is owned by the BSA, which means that it is going to be the strategic tracking tool for advancement in the BSA. It's one place to track all of a unit's advancement activities. It integrates with the BSA records databases and will be there for the long haul. This is what Scoutbook looks like, and it is a troop screen. A pack screen would look very similar. It shows the events that are coming up in your calendar. It shows identification of your troop or pack, and it also shows on the bottom the dens or patrols that you have in your trooper pack, and you can actually query down into those and find more information. This is an example of the Scout page in Scoutbook. It shows a number of different things. It does show the rank the Scout is in. This is for a Boy Scout, but the Cub Scout page looks very similar. So it shows the rank, it shows the percent to the next rank. It shows the parent underneath the Scout's name. And if you click on that, you can go to parent information for the Scout. It shows under advancement what ranks that the Scout has already earned, and either merit badges or advancements that the Scout has earned. And then underneath that, it shows awards. So any national awards that the Scout has earned, those badges show up there as well. On the right-hand side, if you keep going down on the screen, we're showing it on the right-hand side on our presentation here. It does show any outstanding items due that's in the payment log, and then if the Scout pays it off, that goes away. It tells their connections, which you have control as the administrator for your unit Scoutbook account, who has connections to the Scout and who doesn't. So you can give people different connection to different types of connectivity to the Scout. It shows, if you click on advancement, and we'll show that in a minute, you can drill down into the Scout's advancement. Same for awards. Leadership, any patrol or den leadership, you can put in there, troop leadership. You can put there training for the youth, any training courses that he's done. Service log would be his service projects that he's worked on. Camping log would be camping. Hiking log, of course, is hiking. And then reports. Now, Scoutbook has, over the last year, over 2017, has developed a number of new reports that are available to the Scout. These are a list of a few of them, but in addition to these reports, we have an individual history report now. We do have reports for the payment log both at the unit level and the individual level. And the den level, we have reports on OA eligibility for the Boy Scouts, we have a lot of reports now that we didn't have a year ago. So take a look at the reports if you're interested in report writing. Drilling down a little further, if you click on the Scout, it'll show where they are as far as their rank advancement is concerned. It'll show the completed ranks and the ranks that they are working on. Also, it'll show any merit badges for the Cub Scouts. It'll show any adventures they are working on. Drilling down a little further, if you click on a rank, it will bring up the requirements for that rank. Same for adventures, same for merit badges, same for awards. Now, it gives you a short explanation of what the requirement is, and it's the same type of check marks. A scout or a parent can check that they have completed something, which means I think I'm done, and then a leader would go in, test the scout, and then if the scout passes his examination for that requirement, the leader would then approve the requirement. When he approves the requirement, again, the check mark turns blue in Scout Book. And then that indicates to whoever is going to go buy the awards, let's say a rank has been approved, it says, okay, you now need to get this award. And there's a thing called a needs purchasing award, which needs purchasing report, which the administrator can run to tell them what needs to get purchased. There's also a needs awarding report that can be run by the leader to tell the leaders who needs to, where they need to go to approve awards. And remember, if you're going to approve an award or requirement, you need to test the scout for that award or requirement. You don't just go around approving them. That's like a signature in the book. It means that you have tested the scout and he's passed on that requirement. A little bit on privacy. I'm not going to go through all these points. Just know that privacy is extremely important for the Boy Scouts of America, and this software does comply with privacy regulations. Everything that's done in the back end is encrypted. Everything that's done through the internet's encrypted. Or I should say the passwords are encrypted on the other end. And so that if somebody actually hacks in the system, the passwords are not found. We don't store Social Security numbers in the system. We don't store Internet Advancement passwords. They're very careful with what they do store in the system and who gets access to it. Your local council enters all of their records into a database called ScoutNet PAS, and that's where they put in membership information and advancement information. Scout Book has its own database that we call Scout Book, and it is positioned to be the strategic database for all advancement records in the Boy Scouts of America. Currently, all registered scouts and leaders of units are in Scout Book already, so you don't have to add them. They're already there, and all of their advancement is there. As ScoutNet PAS is updated with membership information, that information automatically goes into Scout Book. If somebody at the council level enters an advancement or award, that advancement or award goes into the Scout Book database within 24 to 48 hours. On the other hand, Scout Book also talks to the ScoutNet PAS database. All advancement that you approve will go into the ScoutNet PAS database within 24 to 48 hours, and your council can see it. Membership information that is changed in Scout Book will not change in ScoutNet PAS, so it's only one directional for the membership. But for the advancement, it goes both ways. if you need any assistance, we do have user guides, videos, a lot of different types of assistance online. There is a link being displayed right now. Go to that link and you will find the information. If you need information from a help desk, the Scout Book help desk link is also displayed on this page.
All right. So a little refresher there on ScoutNet and, or I'm sorry, Scout Book, ScoutNet somewhere in there. But also, you know, kind of recurring theme for tonight is around privacy. So I think just following on what Chuck said is, you know, it's always important to be careful how you collect youth's data. Scout Book gives us some ability to do that. Part of my day job is actually working with global privacy legislation. So the U.S. is a very tricky minefield when it comes to privacy because there's so many different laws to consider. My recommendation is you know, try to utilize Scout Book as much as you can, because there's terms and services that you do sign when you sign for an account. It means you are you know, if you read the fine print, you are consenting to give information. So yeah, that will cover you from a legal protection standpoint, that whoever's giving you data is consented to give you that data. So it's kind of another good feather in the cap for a good old Scout Book.
Chris, I have a question if anybody knows. I put it in chat. Does Scout Book do any sort of restriction on who enters the Eagle rank following the Board of Review?
Fantastic question.
I can probably answer that.
Sure, Greg. Thank you.
It's up to the administrators of the unit's Scout Book page who enters that information. Council does not have access to Scout Book, neither does anybody outside of the unit. So it would be whoever is on the admin list for that unit that can enter any information when it comes to rank advancements.
Yeah, that's a good point, Greg. I think you can configure it to such a point on who does the advancements. I know with PAX, it's typically the DIN leader, the Kayla can do that, but troops are a little bit more tied down with but basically almost the advancement coordinator. Sometimes the Scoutmaster will allow some of his assistants to do it, so it's kind of a case by case basis, I would say.
But I thought the Eagle rank itself was only one way from the council, or you know, from the national website to Scout Book.
Not that I know of. We've always gone in as soon as the scout completed his board review. Whoever's an admin, whether it was me or the Scoutmaster, could go in that evening and enter that they passed their board review that night. What comes from national is the official certificate and things. So I don't even know that national can access the Scout Book page for that unit to enter anything.
So it used to be when it first came out that you couldn't enter the Eagle, that the Eagle was, you know, came through the back end from the national database to the Scout Book database. But that was when it was first rolled out many moons ago.
That I'm not aware of, because I've always been able to enter in rank dates for Eagle.
Okay.
Cool. Sounds like a great FAQ article. So we can take that and write one up and put it on our new website. So just to put a nice little plug there, because I forgot to put it in the slides. But Tuscarora BSA-RT, it's RomeoTango.org, is a great place to go. If you can't remember what the Zoom link is, just go there. There's a button there that says join roundtable, and it'll take you right here. So we have plans to develop that out, to take questions like this one and put a little FAQ out there for everyone to say, oh, so that's what we need to do. So
what's that link again, Chris?
Oh, thanks, Kimberly. That link is Tuscarora BSA Bravo Sierra Alpha dash, you know, the hyphen, rtRomeoTango.org. And thank you, Chuck. All right. So get us back on track here. We're not going to watch that again. Give me 1 second. So at this point, we would normally break out into 2 sessions. We'll have the Cub and the Pack, but the topic this month is actually joint. So it's around Journey of Excellence and why it's important, a great tool for your unit. So our one of our Cub Roundtable commissioners, Miss Kimberly Varney, has graciously volunteered herself to give tonight's presentation. So turn it over to you, Miss Kimberly.
I was told. So good evening, everyone. Journey to Excellence. Who is participating in Journey to Excellence? Can raise your hand or have some, yeah. So what is the purpose of the Journey to Excellence? Journey to Excellence often is shortened to JTE. It is a self-evaluation tool that lets unit leaders see quantitatively how well their unit is meeting the goals of scouting. It encourages continuous improvement in your troops, your packs, your crews, any scouting organization that you're working with. It measures performance versus the process. So you can have the process, but if you're not performing well, then it's for naught. It rewards the unit for that success. It achieves the BSA's mission of serving more youth through a higher quality program, and it helps unit leaders understand the key factors that improve a program. So if you go to Journey to Excellence, if you look up Journey to Excellence, you'll actually see 2 areas. One will give you a guidebook for the troop. One will give you the guidebook to the pack. This is how the front of the guidebook looks for the pack. It says Journey to Excellence, the BSA method for annual planning and continuous improvement. JTE handbook or guidebook for Cub Scout packs, the tool to help your pack and you thrive. The guidebook for the troop is worded very similarly. Next page. Is it moving? Next slide. Thank you. Journey to Excellence is the Boy Scouts of America program to help packs, troops, crews, ships, and posts to plan, monitor, and evaluate their performance and their ability to serve the youth. Specific criteria for the unit there are specific criteria for the unit to plan and accomplish. There are four goals or objectives that you would have. It helps that unit to plan so that they can provide a quality program for the units that they're serving. Journey to Excellence is a number of performance measurements. So it's not, it's broken down into small pieces so that you have an opportunity throughout the scouting year to work on each of those items. It is designed as a planning tool. It's a great opportunity to break everything down to its basic plan so that you don't have 1 or 2 people in your unit that are doing all the work. It's broken down into 4 sections, and each of those are broken down into smaller pieces so that you can work towards getting those awards at the end of the year. The pack, troop, crew, ship, or post leadership will review the performance measurements and make plans to achieve as many objectives as possible. For the most part, if you accomplish at least the planning of JTE, you'll usually come in on the bronze level. As you continue to improve upon each one of those items, you can reach the silver or gold level. Next slide. So this is the JTE scorecard for 2023. I wasn't able to find the one for 2024, so there either hasn't been a change or it's hasn't been posted yet. So this is the one for the troop, the one for for the pack looks very similar to this. There are some things in the pack that are a little bit different. They're more designed for the pack, but this is the one for the troop. As you can see, this is the scorecard. It is broken down into, the first one is planning and budget. The second one is membership. The third one is program. And the last one is volunteer leadership. And as you can see, under planning and budget, there's one objective. Under your membership, there's 3 items that you would work towards. Under program, there are 5 items. And under volunteer leadership, there are 2. And depending on what goal you set for your unit for that year, you are awarded points. And then there's a point breakdown at the bottom for bronze, silver, and gold, the number of points you'll get, and the number of objectives that you have to complete to reach that award. Next slide. Oops, back one. Is that it? Okay. Yeah. There are 11 objectives scored across 4 domains. Planning and budgeting. Planning is usually what activities are you going to do, how you're going to work on rank advancements, how you're going to work on service projects and things that you're planning on doing for the year, and how you're going to allocate those from meeting to meeting and month to month. And then, of course, your budgeting. You want to have money to do these things. Your units have a basic budget just to keep things running, and then you have to find ways to fundraise so that you can do additional activities. On the pack level, mostly you're going to be looking at just funding your pack, rank advancements, the awards that each of the little Cub Scouts get, maybe planning Pinewood Derby, your popcorn and product sales in the fall, and any other fundraising that you would need to keep your packs running. On the troop level, you might be planning summer camp. You might be planning a large service project. You may be planning trips every month, activities that you might be doing, camp out, hikes, or even if you're planning on sending a contingent to one of the high adventure activities, Philmont, Northern Tier, or Sea Base. The second is membership. Well, it's hard to plan and budget and have a program if you don't have membership. So you've got to plan how you're going to recruit scouts into your unit. It might be at open houses. It might be at events, community events, and then how you're going to recruit more scouts in. Are you going to depend on your charter organization? Are you going to depend on younger siblings for your scouts, their friends, their neighbors, but how you're going to go about your membership and how you're going to work with that. Then your program, you got to plan your program. You got to make sure that everything is lined up. You might need to have some wiggle room depending on weather. It's great that the freezeria is coming up, but as we've all seen in the last week or so, we've had some pretty unpredictable weather. One day it's beautiful, the next day it's raining, and we've got weather advisories. It's hard to plan if it's hard to have activities if they are rained out or snowed out or the like. So we need to have plans in our program so that we can shuffle things around. And then your volunteer leadership. On the pack level, it's really dependent on parents. We need parents to volunteer to be den leaders, to be committee members, to help with treasury and the budget, and then just kind of keeping the kids involved and engaged. On the troop level, your crews, your ships, your explorers, you need adults just to be there to keep them, just to keep everybody safe. But at the same time, you have scouts that come in, you have scouts that go out. You need to be able to keep that volunteer leadership flowing. Are you going to have scout leadership that's going to lead with their scout? Are they willing to stay behind to train the next leadership? Or are they like a lot of scouters, my husband and I included, we stayed with our pack just so that they would have leadership and to help train the next leadership, even though we didn't have a child in the program. Each of the 4 major areas has specific and measurable objectives, and these standards should be reviewed each year and, if needed, need to be revised. Next slide. So on the scoring levels, you can see here, bronze is a total of 525 points, earning those points in at least 7 objectives. For silver, you will earn at least 750 points in at least 8 objectives. And gold is 1,000 points by earning points in 8 objectives. Gold is tough. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of commitment, but it can be done. I know that my oldest son was with Troop 8 for a lot of years, and they had consecutive years where they would earn the gold. They also had activities every month, and they worked really hard to keep things on track. Scoring the troops' performance, and this also works in the pack as well. To determine the troops' performance level, you should use the above information to determine how those points are accrued. Bronze level requires that you get 525, silver is 700, and gold is 1,000. So you need to work with those. You need to look at that scorecard that we saw in the previous slide. Next slide. So planning and budget. For the troop, it says, have a program plan and budget that is regularly reviewed by the committee following BSA policies related to fundraising. So first you're going to plan what you're going to do, then you have to find a way to fund it. So at a bronze level, you will have an annual program plan and a budget adopted by your troop committee. Since most units already achieve that, that's part of their plan every year. Most units will start out at the bronze level. To achieve the silver level, you will achieve the bronze, plus the troop will conduct planning meetings involving youth leaders for the following year. So I know that on the troop level, they'll have patrol leader conference, they'll have committee conferences, and they will sit down and they will plan, and they will involve the youth and the youth leaders in making that plan for each year. And usually they'll plan out a quarter at a time. It's easier for the youth to plan a quarter ahead, maybe 6 months ahead if they've got something big planned, like Philmont, Sea Base, Northern Tier, summer camp. But it's all in the planning and then involving the youth in that plan. On the gold level, you will achieve the silver, plus the committee will meet at least 6 times during the year to review those plans and finance. So that can be kind of tough. 6 times a year, that's every other month. But since they're usually not doing things in the 3 months of the summer, you've got to get creative in planning to get those 6 times in. And each one of those is worth 50, 100, and 200 points. Next slide. Membership. This is the one that I think I've had the most trouble with. On the pack level, we have trouble just getting the youth, the Cubs involved. You go to open houses, you go to festivals, you go to community events, and you're trying to get the youth excited, but you have to have the parents involved as well. So a lot of times on the pack level for membership, you're really trying to recruit the parents as much as you're trying to recruit the youth. On the troop level, it's probably a little bit easier. They've either been involved in scouting as Cubs, or they have friends that are doing it and they just want to try something different. So the 3 objectives under membership is building the Scouts BSA, retention, and then that Webelos to Scout transition. So on the troop level, for Webelos to Scout transition, it's really important that as part of your plan in the troop, that you spend time in your feeder packs. Definitely you want to engage with those second-year Webelos to get them interested, get them involved in what they're doing at the troop level, so that they will choose to stay in scouting and maybe even become involved in your troop. If nothing else, at least get them engaged so that they can find a troop that they're interested in. I know that for our pack, we had 3 or 4 elementary schools that were feeding in. And so because of the disbursement of the scouts, some troops were a little more accessible than the troop that we were feeding into. We were feeding from Pack 8 into Troop 8, but there's at least 4 or 5 other troops in that area where we were working, where the youth could actually fall into. Building Scouts BSA, you want to recruit new youth into the troop in order to grow your membership. And those need to be new youth. They can't be where your new scouts that you got at spring crossover into the troop. You want to bring new scouts in. Having membership growth through new recruitment, and then a personal invitation to have kids to come in. Your retention in the troop, you want 75% of your members to remain in the troop through each rechartering year. And then we talked about Webelos to Scouts. As you can see through the bronze, the silver, and the gold, the requirement gets a little bit higher. You want to increase your youth membership by 5% or have at least 25 new members or 25 members. For retention, you're looking at 80%. If you've got a large pack or a large troop or a large crew, it may be possible that you can retain 80%. If they are really engaged and enjoying themselves, 80% is obtainable. That gold level is 85%. In a small troop, in a small pack, you're looking at a lot of kids, a lot of youth wanting to recharter. But you also have to take into consider you've got your age out. A pack that is heavy in the Webelos might actually lose a lot of their scouts to cross over into the troop. So 85% may not be obtainable. In your troops, if you have a lot of youth that work really hard to get to their eagle, you might have some of the young youth, like the 14, 15, and 16-year-olds might even be eagling out really early. So you definitely want to try and keep them engaged after they've eagled so they will stay for palms and at least help with the troop in keeping that activity going. So membership is really probably the biggest goal because you're working against, well, not against, but you're working with the engagement of your youth to keep them in the packs, in the troops. I know that COVID did a lot to reduce some of the membership in a lot of our units. A lot of youth did not return, but I think that there's been a resurgence. I think a lot of kids are really interested. I think we could get to them if we just push on our membership. And that might mean that you might need 1 or 2 members on your committee as part of membership. Definitely want to have membership committee members exploring lots of options, community events, festivals, open houses, or any opportunity to get into the schools and to get into activities, get into areas where youth might be congregating. So next slide. The third objective is program. We're looking at advancement, short-term camping, long-term camping, service projects, and the patrol method. And of course, we're talking about the troop level, but this also works in the pack. In the pack, under their program, they are about advancement. So in the pack program, the kids are in a rank for the whole school year. So you've got your tigers, your wolves, your bears, your Webelos, your second-year Webelos, and in some cases you may have lions. So for them, it's about advancement. You want to get them through their programs and get them advanced into the next rank. Advancement in the troop is a little bit longer or a little bit shorter because theirs is dependent on time in, merit badges, and activity and participation in the troop. So to achieve a high percentage of members that are working on their rank advancement. And that might mean that you may need your scouts to engage with the younger scouts to get them involved so that they're working on new advancement. In the troop, we're doing short-term camping. So that's planning activities for weekends, long weekends, weekends throughout the school year where maybe you go to Camp Tuscarora, maybe you go to somebody may have property where they'll allow you to camp, and then working on merit badges during that time, the camping, the cooking, hiking, or just participating just in a short activity. Long-term camping, that's your summer camp, or maybe even a high adventure. But definitely we want to get them engaged in doing a long-term camp. Camp Tuscarora depends on our troops and our packs to come out and participate out there, to do camp weekends, to do day camps for the Cubs, do summer camp for the troop. They need us to stay afloat. They need us to engage out there and to participate in ways that help them to improve what's going on, the activities and the items that they have to offer. Scouts will want to go if there's things there for them to participate in, things that they can do and enjoy. Service projects. Definitely one of the goals of scouting is for our youth to become involved in service. It's not what we do for ourselves, it's what we do for others. It is a big push when the community sees our scouts involved in service projects. So participating in 3 service projects and entering those into the scout book is a great opportunity to teach our youth about serving in the community and serving each other as well as our charter organizations. So service projects, we want to plan those. And then using the patrol method to develop youth leaders. PAC 8 was recently, my husband and I stepped back from PAC 8 and we have a new Cub Master for PAC 8. He is an Eagle Scout. He wanted to become involved in scouting again. He has a daughter, so she was rather thrilled when they had their heating unit went out right before Christmas, and he was building a fire in their fireplace, and she asked him where he learned how to do that, and he told her he learned that in scouting. So she says, I want to be a scout. I want to learn how to do that. I want to learn how to do that. So definitely in the patrol method, we can engage our youth, become youth leaders. If we involve them in activities so that they build confidence and leadership skills, that maybe we can get them to come back. Maybe we can get them to participate on the pack level or on the troop level as assistant scoutmasters, committee members. It's definitely an opportunity to develop our youth. So our program is really important. And next slide. And lastly, volunteer leadership. We discussed this month before about, well, actually at the last meeting about training up the new leaders and finding ways to involve our parents so that we can train up new leadership and have a succession plan. Things happen in all units. Sometimes there's differences of opinions and people leave. The youth will age out or they move away, and so they take the parents with them, and so you'll lose leadership that way. So it's always important that we work on trying to engage new volunteers into leadership. Family engagement is the biggest way. When parents become involved, and they see how much fun their youth are having and how their youth are being engaged and learning new things, they'll become involved. You can get them involved, but beyond that, we need to also train them. So volunteer leadership, we need to engage our parents and the adults into our unit. Committees, membership, and such. Next slide. So there are additional unit planning resources at scouting.org. This one, there is a link at the bottom for the troop resources, which is the guidebook that most of our slides are from. There's also one for the pack. All of the forms, all of the score sheets, everything that you'll need, plus links to other tools that you can use in budgeting, programming, membership, and leadership, ways to retain and train new leadership. The journey to excellence is attainable. It's a great opportunity to evaluate your process, evaluate your programs, make changes and revise things as things change in our communities with our youth and with our communities, so that we can continue to keep scouting out there. Journey to excellence. Scouting is a great program, and we need to engage our students, our scouts, and showing them that there's more rewards than just their advancement. Being a gold JTE, it's pretty nice to have that that journey to excellence with the gold stripe around it. But bronze and silver are definitely worthy awards as well. So, does anyone have any questions? I know that went long. I apologize. So the unit annual program planning conference, there are links on this page here. Strong units have a good annual program planned a year in advance, and they share it on to every family as a calendar. Next slide.
Oh,
All right.
cool.
Oh, the breakout sessions.
Forgot to take that slide out.
Oh, okay.
So Kimberly, thanks for the overview of JTE tonight. And for those who are well, hopefully, if you're not familiar, you're familiar now. But if you are, this is a nice refresh. Just remember, JTE Journey to Excellence is a great tool to measure yourself in your unit to see how well you're doing. And to be honest, as you just saw, this is based on over 110 years of scouting experience. So it's a really good yardstick for yourself to use. You can also work with your commissioner to complete this. He or she can help you complete this assessment along the way. It's a nice little thing to have. Plus, you also need it for rechartering. So that's handy to measure, see how you're doing. So with that said, it's 8 o'clock. Thank you for your time. Are there any last minute burning questions or concerns anybody would like to surface? All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania tonight and it's freezing up here. So I can't wait to get back to God's country where it's warm and beautiful. Get away from this place. But I will hopefully run into you soon and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Beautiful, but not warm. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, it is not warm here at all.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'll bet it's colder where Chris is now.
Yeah, my blood has gone cold since I moved to North Carolina. So everybody, I'm sorry I have to drop early tonight. But thank you for all your support and help in making Roundtable work. I think we got we're getting people coming. That's the good news. I think we got the little bugs worked out along the way, and I think really the next step is to start really promote, as they say in the business, right?
Chris, can I ask that if everybody will send me something earlier about roundtables, I can include it in the next issue of the newsletter? And maybe that will get some people, tuning in. If we tell them what we're going to be talking about in time, that they can tune in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and that's something I meant to hit you up earlier in the week with Connie about this.
It's okay.
So, but yeah, I think